Have you ever stared at your console or PC, feeling completely unmotivated to play? Games you used to love just don't hit the same anymore. Trust me, I have been there. But what if I told you, it's not the games, it's how we approach them. Today, we're diving into exactly how to break out of that gaming burnout and rediscover why we fell in love with gaming in the first place. From personal stories to actionable tips, this video will help you reignite that spark and enjoy your favorite hobby again. Let's get started. The first step to enjoying games again is to take a break from them. Sometimes, the reason we lose interest in gaming is simply because we've been playing too much. Taking a break doesn't mean you're quitting gaming forever. It's just a chance to reset and refresh. The break helps you step away from the constant pressure of playing and allows you to return to games with a fresh perspective. I'll give an example from my own experience with Elden Ring. When I first started playing it, I was so excited, but after just 2 hours, I felt frustrated and overwhelmed by the difficulty. As a beginner in Souls games, I wasn't prepared for the steep challenge the game presented. Every enemy felt like it could destroy me. After feeling stuck for a while, I decided to play something else for a bit. And you know what? When I returned to Elden Ring after the break, the difficulty became something I appreciated rather than dreaded. I started embracing the challenge, and the game became a completely different experience. Doing something else and coming back with a clear mind changed everything. Sometimes, we think we have to power through the frustration, but a step back can do wonders. If you're feeling burnt out, it's okay to step away and let yourself breathe. When you return to gaming, you'll often find that the challenges you once seemed overwhelming are now fun and engaging. Inspiration to play a game can come from other forms of media. I know this may sound counterintuitive, but trust me, watching a movie or TV show, reading a book, or even exploring a new hobby can all help you reignite your love for gaming. This happens because you're feeding your mind with new ideas and creative stories that can fuel your gaming experience. For instance, Breath of the Wild had a huge impact on me. I always loved open-world games, but after seeing documentaries about nature and exploration, I found a new appreciation for the sense of freedom and discovery that Breath of the Wild offers. Its massive world, filled with cool monsters to fight and countless areas to explore, became even more enjoyable when I compared it to real-life adventures I had watched in documentaries. The game feels like a masterpiece because every corner of the world holds something unique. Whether it's a shrine, a monster, or just a beautiful vista to gaze at. The more I immersed myself in different forms of media, the more Breath of the Wild felt like the perfect game to experience those feelings of awe and wonder. Inspiration can come from all around us, so if you're feeling burnt out on games, try exploring something outside of gaming. Read a book with a setting you have never thought of, or even look into other creative hobbies. You'll find that when you get back to gaming, you're ready to experience it with a new perspective, and you might even approach your favorite games with a renewed excitement. Build a balanced life outside of gaming. This might sound like common sense, but hear me out. Having a life outside of gaming can actually improve your enjoyment of games. Many of us can fall into a routine where gaming becomes our primary focus, and other aspects of life like family, friends, or physical health are put on the back burner. But when we do this, we start to feel stuck in a loop of playing the same games over and over, and eventually that leads to burnout. It's important to remember that gaming is just one part of our lives, and in order to enjoy it fully, we need to have a balance. I've found that the more I balance my time between gaming, spending time with friends and family, and engaging in other activities, the more enjoyable my gaming experience has become. For example, during times when I've felt frustrated with gaming, I have noticed that my personal life was out of balance. I was spending too much time online, scrolling through social media or playing games for hours, and not enough time connecting with the world around me. I took a step back, started going outside more, and spending time with family. I made an effort to be present in those moments and really focused on building those connections. One of the best things I did was to get outside and touch grass. It sounds silly, but it's actually true. Spending time outdoors, walking in nature, or just stepping away from the screen can help you reset your mind. When I did this, I came back to my games with more enthusiasm. I had the energy to appreciate the details in the game that I might have missed before. This is also why I started dedicating time to other hobbies, like reading or picking up creative projects. When you engage in a variety of experiences, gaming becomes an even more enriching activity, rather than something you fall back on out of habit. It's also important to explore new hobbies outside of gaming. This is something I didn't fully realize until recently. Having more hobbies than just gaming can actually improve your experience with gaming itself. I know it can be tough when gaming feels like your only escape, but try to find new activities that spark joy. It might be something physical, like a sport, something creative like painting, or even just reading a book. The possibilities are endless. I used to think that gaming was my only hobby, but over time, I started to realize how much I was missing by not branching out. For example, I recently got into reading books that involve fantasy worlds, and it helped me appreciate the worlds in games even more. When you start living life outside of gaming and pursue other interests, you come back to your favorite games with a different mindset. The world building in games becomes more immersive, and I'm able to appreciate the artistry that goes into creating these virtual spaces. When you're feeling overwhelmed or unsure of what game you want to play next, it can help to create a list of games you are interested in. Sometimes we get stuck in a rut, playing the same games over and over because we don't know what else to try. Writing down a list of games you want to explore can give you that direction. You don't have to play them all right away, but having a list helps you feel more excited about your next gaming session. For me, making a list was a game changer. I started noting down games I had always wanted to play but never got around to. It took away the stress of figuring out what to play next, and I was able to dive into new games with enthusiasm. Whether it's new releases or old titles, having a list gives you a roadmap to follow, and it makes gaming feel less like a chore. Another tip is to branch out and explore different game genres that you might not have tried before. For example, if you have always been a fan of action games, maybe try something slower paced, like a strategy or a puzzle game. Or if you're used to single-player games, give multiplayer or cooperative games a shot. A change in pace can reignite your passion for gaming. I have found that switching up genres works wonders. I've always been into RPGs, but when I tried out Pokemon Go, I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. It was a relaxing change of pace that I didn't expect to love as much as I did. Trying something new can help keep the experience fresh. To wrap things up, the key to enjoying gaming again is taking breaks, finding inspiration in other forms of media, building a balanced life, discovering new hobbies, and being open to different game genres. Taking these steps allows you to approach games with a fresh perspective and makes them much more enjoyable when you're ready to dive back in. If you have any personal experiences or advice that's helped you enjoy games more, feel free to share them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what's worked for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.